Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Elconin. Welcome to Pre-Market Info.
While we've had an interesting overnight session here, Joel, obviously on the weekend concerns from Cyprus have affected all of the overseas markets, affected the U.S. Futures here, the S&P futures too, but we've actually found a bottom around 2 o'clock in the morning, and we started rallying.
Yeah, did you get up too with your buying shoes on or something and start doing your part to
Somebody did.
starting to support the U.S. economy here, the
Somebody
U.S.
did.
stock market. Let's just take a look at what has happened, what has transpired since we hit that 1529.50 low. We've had one heck of a rebound. We did have some support points that we did cut through here. We did have a low at 1532 and a quarter. Right here, we did cut through there down to 1529.50. I guess I'm keeping a real close eye on the overnight high, 1544. If somehow we can imagine, to get through there, I'm looking at super major resistance at the double bottom from Thursday and Friday at 1549.
It's been crazy. Bring back that pre-market chart just to have that on the screen. So basically, if you weren't paying attention over the weekend, in Cyprus, they're giving them a bailout over there. It's a little island very close over in the Mediterranean, I believe. I actually don't know where exactly it is. But regardless, small economy, basically very linked to their financial system. Their financial system, a huge part of their economy. The two major banks there are in big trouble over the weekend, needed a bailout. Well, they're going to actually propose, and this is just still on the table, it hasn't been voted on yet, but they're proposing to actually levy out of their depositor accounts. Anybody that has under 100,000 will lose 6.5% of their account. Anybody that has over 100,000, I think it will lose 9.9%. So
There's no way.
basically,
They can't do that.
basically the government reaching their hand into their depositors' accounts to get this bailout money here for the banks. So this is, causing obviously a bank run over there in Cyprus, but it's also sending shivers obviously through the rest of Europe because they do this in Cyprus. What if they do this elsewhere? I mean, imagine having, €1 million or something, and they all of a sudden just jump in and take 100,000 of them from you. It's kind of a scary thought. So it's brought back all these concerns over in Europe, and you've got a lot of your European financials trading down significantly overnight as well. Bring
Yeah,
up like a chart on Deutsche Bank there, Joel, just to show some of these European financials. So obviously Deutsche Bank trading down $2 here. You've got Barclays trading down 5% or so, BCS. You've got RBS trading down, the Royal Bank of Scotland. So you've got all your European financials down fairly significantly here. I know overnight overseas Hong Kong was down. So across the whole world, global markets are down significantly on this news of this possible bank levy.
wow, it's just unfathomable that the money that you had deposited in the bank could just a certain percentage of that be gone overnight.
Well, what's even worse too is there was insurance. It's just like we have, the FDIC insurance on your accounts. Well, it's not even coming into play. They're just taking that regardless. So you'd think if your account was insured, say up to they insured accounts up to 60,000, that they would at least let that part go. But no, this is across the board. Basically, if you have $10 in your account, they're going to take 6.5% of it. So they're going to take 65 cents from you. So it's quite concerning actually over there. And obviously, this has knocked the markets down here overnight.
Right, and just to bring it all into play for the traders and investors, following this, I mean, what caused the last, major sell-off in this market? And it was Europe, and this is a sign. It's not the end of the world, but this is a sign that things are heating up in Europe once again.
Yeah, and it's a confidence issue too. I mean, people are going to be less confident investing over in Europe, and that's really what gets hurt here is confidence overall, and that's what's hurting the market and driving it down. But like we said here overnight, we were down as much as 24 handles. We traded as low as 1529.50 between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern, and as you can see on that chart, we have started rallying, and we have come back a lot. We basically got back over half of the losses.
We got almost back to the where we opened at 1544. So I think that's going to be
Yep.
a big point of control. But what issues are we going to focus on today?
Well, let's look at the U.S. financials because obviously they're going to be down probably the most. This affects them more than anything else. Citigroup here is trading down about $1 right now at 46.40. Closed at 47.26. Like we said, it was worse earlier. You can see around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, Citigroup was under $46. So it has, had a steep sell-off, obviously, and now it's actually starting to rally a little bit here.
Yep, 4 o'clock open here. Didn't open down that much. Not sure much volume traded. Traded down.
Probably hardly nothing.
Yeah,
But yeah.
traded down under 46 here to 45.94. Getting a little reprieve here, bouncing up to 46.60. But let's look at this in the context of the daily chart here. Monster run in this stock. Started to run into some resistance the last couple days around 47.60. We did peel back under 46. Could not get to this low that we had here at 45.37. So dipping under 46, there's not a whole lot there, but 45.94, we're still 50 cents above the pre-market low. Keep an eye on that. Coming back on the upside, hey, we're only 40 cents away from Friday's low of 46.92. So you got to imagine the offers are going to be lining up from 46.90 to 47 on any kind of a rebound in Citigroup.
JP Morgan trading down 60 cents here this morning as well. 49.39 is where it's trading after closing at 50.02. We won't have time to go into too many numbers on each one, but maybe if we fly through these, maybe you can give one significant number for each one there, Joel, just for our listeners here. So JP Morgan, what's it going to be?
I'm keeping an eye on 49.15, the pre-market low. That's my number on the downside. That's what it needs to hold.
Is JP Morgan, was that the low on Friday too, though? Because JP Morgan sold off steep on Friday. Can you?
Yep, that was the low on Friday.
Okay, what was and the pre-market low matched that low too as well? So that's really
49.14 was.
Okay, wow. So obviously you're seeing some big support there, supported at that Friday low of 49.15. Goldman Sachs, Joel, where are you finding support on this one, or is there any support?
Goldman Sachs here. We dipped to 152 in the pre-market. We got to keep in mind how Goldman Sachs recovered on Friday from the negative stress test stuff. You got to look at the major resistance here at 155 level, quite a ways away from that. I'm keeping an eye here on the double bottom from Tuesday and Wednesday, 150.46 to 150.58. Got a ways away here. Going to be a lot of air in Goldman today.
Morgan Stanley, let's bring up that one too, because obviously all these financials trading down. But Morgan had a great day on Friday. It was up on its good stress test results. Obviously pulling back here this morning, though. Is this going to be a nice buying opportunity if this thing can pull back near the lows there? Just under 23, or?
Oh, man, I don't know. I'd keep an eye on Friday's low here, 22.77. Looking at what has transpired in the pre-market. Have just got a little bit under 23.10 to 23.06. So not real good numbers. I guess if you're looking for resistance in this stock, you're going to have to wait up to the close and the high. Close right up there at 23.59. So Morgan not being affected as much as some of these other ones.
Precious metals are up here, though. Gold GLD trading up $1.20 right now, obviously on the news. There's, you got this whole risk-off trade happening, and just like we've been saying, if for some reason the market starts showing weakness, gold will get interest again. That is exactly what is happening here this morning with the GLD. Getting a nice lift.
Yeah, we were talking. I mean, a lot of our members have been asking, when's gold going to move? What's going to happen with the precious metals? And you need a driver. And if confiscating partial bank deposits in Cyprus is not a driver, put your money in gold or put your money under the mattress, because you certainly don't want it in the bank in Cyprus. This is something you got to be aware of. You did have major resistance at 154.70. We have busted smartly above that. That will be your support level. You have a nice resistance point in the GLD to keep an eye on at 155.60, as that was the high on February 27th. So you got a driver here.
And a lot of your individual miners are trading up as well. You've got the ABX Barrick Gold, which is one of the biggest, trading up here about 30 cents this morning, 28.90. It's obviously put in some bottoms here. It's getting a lift here this morning.
you just have a reference point on the downside. If this thing starts to rally, I can't tell you where it's going to stop. Maybe the $30 level, still a ways away from there. But with all these issues, you have a reference point if you're being long, and you have a stop out point. But man, these things just cannot get off the mat.
Yeah, they haven't been able to, but they have put in some nice bottoms here, so they are getting off the bat a bit here this morning because NEM2, the chart you got up there, it's trading up at 40.15, so there is some interest and there is some money flying into the precious metals here and into the miners too. We should talk about silver too, just because gold's trading up. Silver really not trading up that much. The SLV is only up a few cents here.
Yeah, that's still skimming along the bottom here, not up.
Crazy
Yeah,
bottom down there.
yep. Keep an eye on this $28 level, 28.06. If we break above there, definitely some room to move up. But once again, just some major accumulation going on down here. So if you are trying it from the long side, there's your area of control.
Well, a lot of your old last year's dogs are still this year's top stocks here in Best Buy getting an upgrade. Again, gets an upgrade every day. Upgraded again here at JP Morgan, trading up again. Who cares about Cyprus problems if you're a Best Buy shareholder, I guess? Because Best Buy flying up here another 13 cents, despite the market being down 13 handles. Best Buy's set to open up higher again.
Yeah,
Just
I'd be
crazy.
a little bit leery of this upgrade. Also, you just got a really steep trend line
Oh,
going up here. So if you're playing it close to the belt on your Best Buy long here, keep an eye, especially on Friday's low, which was 21.14. Quite a ways away from there. Everyone is jumping on the bandwagon. Kind of reminds me of Google when it got above 800. Everyone thinking it's going to 1,000, but there's your resistance. You're just trading at 21.60 here in the pre-market. That's the high. Looking at Friday's high, right 21.80. So keep an eye on that. And nice round number like 22 could have some offers today as well.
and its partner in crime, Hewlett-Packard, also trading up, getting an upgrade this morning at Morgan Stanley, and it's trading up 7 cents too. Like we were saying, these two stocks trade together. This Hewlett-Packard and Best Buy seem to follow each other, and here they are, both trading higher here again. On the day we're down 13 handles. It's crazy. Those things just keep marching.
150,000 shares have traded. You had a high on Friday at 22.18. Trading only a dime above that. So if you are trying this off the open on the long side, below Friday's high, 22.18, which was also the close, you have a little bit of room down to the $22 level. In the pre-market, you got a nice lift, but man, 22.28, someone seems to have a piece that they want to let go here. Looking longer term, I mean, now it looks good, right? But look at all these tops you're going to run into here in the 22.60 level,
Oh, got about another
22.66.
30 cents.
Yeah, that's your first sign of major resistance if you're brave enough to be holding this stock long in what could be a very weak market today.
Verizon getting an upgrade at Citigroup here, actually trading a bit higher, 48.05. Verizon had a little bit of a tough day on Friday, actually broke down, but then got a rally, I believe, towards the end of the day. But actually, so it got a rally towards the end of the day, but now actually it's trading higher on the Citigroup upgrade.
Yeah, Citigroup brave here today. 48.35, 48.36 was Friday's high. That's gonna be your first resistance point, and then you got major resistance going up a little bit higher at the 48.60 level. You had three tops right there. Looking at the intraday or the pre-market activity, 48.16, 48.17's been the high, so that's your resistance points. I think if you're not trying to pick a top in this, but rather, trying to lock in some profits, you've had three lows around the 47.65 level, so that would be a point if you wanted to sell it on weakness and, keep some profits from this nice rally.
Kimberly Clark getting downgraded to sell at Goldman Sachs here this morning, and it is under significant
Sell?
pressure.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a
the Goldman
four-letter
has
word.
guts, man. You got to give Goldman. They got some guts because they will come out and put sells on stocks, even when they're going up sometimes. But obviously, Kimberly Clark's been kind of drifting down here for the last 2 or 3 weeks. It was a lot weaker here this morning in the pre-market. It's bounced back a little bit, but trading smartly under 92 bucks, so down about a buck and a half at 91.76.
Yeah, 91.26 is was low, not on a lot of volume. You're getting a little pop on that. They've lowered their price target to 90, so they're looking for it, fairly valued at this area. I did like, you would have looked at this and said, hey, there was support at 91.88. We've taken that out in the pre-market. This 92 to 93 area looks kind of wicked. So keep an eye, if you do get a rally in this thing up anywhere to near Friday's low of 92.66, I'd look for that to be major resistance.
Let's talk about Apple, because Apple, Google has continued to separate, and Apple is the new strong stock here. This trend has been for the last 5 or 6 sessions where Apple seems to go up and show strength almost every day when Google's going down. Here's Apple. It's only down a buck here this morning, showing some strength, good relative strength here again. Obviously had the big day on Friday where it got the nice pop, and Google doing the exact opposite this week here, again down 7 points. But let's start with Apple there, Joel.
Well, I've been bullish ever since I got my iPhone a little over a week ago, so we're going to still stick with that. 438.46 is what we hit in the pre-market. That's still a buck away from Friday's low at 437 in the quarter, so keeping an eye on that level. You have to take a look at finally a good day on Friday. Took out a couple double tops at 435 and then 439. That's coinciding with the support that you have in the pre-market. And you just got to think that, above this Friday's high at 444.23, things look open up to the $450 level. And Goog's in a death spiral here. 805 was the low right here. You've had 4 consecutive lower highs and lower lows. I'm keeping an eye on this 805 level. That was the low. And you got to figure they're going to, at least at some point, make the people squirm that bought this stock over 800. You'd see a dip in the pre-market here under 805, but I'm still using the 805 as the main level.
Yeah, it's crazy how the market can turn so quickly, and that's what swing trading is all about, being able to identify, when the tide has turned. And it turned in Google a few days ago, and it obviously turned in Apple in the opposite direction a few days ago. We kept talking about how the Google-Apple spread had widened. Well, now it's starting to narrow. I mean, it's still ridiculously wide compared to what it was when they were the same price back in September of last year when they were both around 680 bucks. And obviously Google went for its huge run-up and Apple went for its huge sell-off. But the last 4 or 5 sessions here, if you were long Apple and short Google, you've been on the right side of the trade, and that's the trade that has been working lately in those issues. Overall market thoughts here. Obviously, we've had a crazy overnight session here, Joel, with the market selling off 24 handles. Now we're only down 12. Is this market going to continue to rally here, or do you think it does run into that resistance where it opened at 1544?
I mean, this is really a key day for this honey badger / Teflon market. It has just been able to shrug off all and any and bad news and just come back. Now we've gotten hit with some really bad news overnight. We did made the low, and now we're battling back. Really since 6 a.m. this morning, we've had a hard time getting over 1542. So I hate to give wide ranges, but I think this is going to be good resistance here from 1542 up to your current high of 1544. I think the market's going to struggle at that area and maybe come back here and spend some time trading in the 1530s, mid-1530s, and I still like 1532 and a quarter as a point above the market low of 1529 and a half.
Well, it looks like we're going to get some nice short-term volatility in any regard for you traders out there. So scoop up, and make some money here on these days that is offering you a little bit extra volatility. That's our show for today, guys. Have a great trading session, and we will be back with you tomorrow.